High School. I was just discussing with my partner Mike Martin. It's a retrocast tonight. Remember, I don't know if you saw that, but Fox last year did a retrocast for baseball.
Oh yeah, where they started like how it was in about the 1920s,
50s and 40s,
and then
black and white, and they kept bringing it forward. So
that was actually very cool.
what we're going to do is the opposite way. We're going to start with the modern color, and it'll be black and white by the time the game's over. So stay with us for that excitement. But right now, the starting lineups, let's cover them for both South and Green Bay Southwest. First of all, for the visitors, Marcus Gavert, a junior at 5'11", wearing number 5. Billy St. John, number 23, a 6'3" senior. Nathan Zepnick, who wears 33, he's 6'4", also a senior. Ben Brossard, a 6'2" sophomore, wearing number 45. And then at 6'8", James Poles, wearing number 55, will complete the starting lineup for Casey Zakowski and the Trojans. For Sheboygan South, they'll go with number 3, Aubrey Koistra, a 5'10" senior. Aaron Sorensen, number 11, also a 5'10" senior. Brian Schultz, a senior at 6'3", wears 23. Jacob Wilson at 5'10", a junior, wears 25. And Scott Murphy, a 6'4" sophomore, wears number 43. And I sure hope we're not going to have the cheer girls in front of us the whole game, but we'll find out in just a second.
Jacob Wilson is starting in place of Andy Prislin. And Marcus Ninneman did quite a bit of starting early in the year, and Scott Murphy is starting tonight.
All right, well, this is going to be classic. Sorensen will drive the baseline. Now kicked out, little head fake, a no shot. Sorensen will get it back on top.
See Southwest covering up the shooters pretty well, but Koister left open there.
Three-point shot doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Southwest Brossard. You know, the one thing I've always thought, Mike, is that Southwest, with that deliberate style, even when they were really good, teams could stay with them. They just don't play the kind of style that puts anybody away.
Not much.
Gavert hits it in the lane, and it's 2-zip Southwest.
The thing with their good teams, Stu, that they would do is they had played such good defense that they made it very difficult to score on them.
We're 1 minute into the ball game. South looking for their first points. Inside with position. Schultz will have a little jump hook almost and hit it.
A good post-up move. He looked to his left and he looked to his right. He couldn't find any open players, and then he did his one-on-one move. Little jump hook to the side of the lane.
Tell you what, I may have to go to the mic stand in the second half.
This is just like Lindsey Nelson.
Picking up action later in the first quarter. Oh, and a nice steal. Here comes South on the break. This is Wilson. Overlays. Following up on the board is Koistra. He can't score. Southwest gets it back, and a foul will go against the Red Wings.
That one's going to go on Brian Schultz, I believe. All started with a missed layup, Stu.
I think Schultz is trying to figure out what he did. I didn't see him anywhere close on that play.
Must have been contact when they were fighting for the rebound.
2-2 ball game just underway here in the first quarter.
South plays pretty good defense in their own right, although they let...
Nice drive by Zepnick, Nathan Zepnick.
Got to cut off the baseline.
Nice crossover dribble. Sorensen, he's fouled on the move.
Non-shooting foul. They're going to give the South the ball out of bounds.
Gavert got the personal foul. Triggering the inbound, Wilson, jump shot, quick jump shot, rolls around the rim, no good by Murphy.
Good look there by Scott, but he wasn't able to put it down.
Red Wing defense really bringing things out for pressure here.
St. John trying to get the baseline cut off by Koistra.
Ball stolen away by Sorensen. He'll try to push it to the basket. Little fadeaway jumper, rolls around and off.
Got to use the left hand on that one, Stu. It's nothing but a left-handed layup.
Southwest the other way, and Brossard is fouled by Jacob Wilson.
It's just a little half-hook layup. Just take that to the left side and lay her up and in.
You would have slammed that, wouldn't you, back in your day? On 8-foot hoops over at Grant, man. Come on. Shot was blocked. And the Red Wings have it back. South trails by 2, but they have the basketball on the drive. Layup off and no good. And the Red Wings come out shooting poorly here in the first quarter.
Very cold, and they've had some pretty good looks, too. A couple of layup misses now, and they had an open look by Cloister earlier on in the quarter.
Gavert's drive on the left side, hard off the backboard. South with the break the other way. Sorensen pull up 10-footer, that's short, but the rebound tracked down by Murphy. I think the Red Wings are about 1 for 6 unofficially, and a travel called against Cloister. They're looking like the Chicago Bulls of a week and a half ago against the Wizards.
I was going to say they're starting to succumb to the pressure that Southwest is applying defensively. There you see Casey Zakowski instructing one of his players.
Matthew Baymert's into the ball game.
Zakowski, a longtime coach at Southwest.
Played his high school basketball there. Boy, an unorthodox looking outside shot by Zepnik, but it finds the mark.
I think they're going to apply a warning to a Southwest player for tampering with the ball after it went through the hoop.
They still haven't ruled on whether that's a 2 or a 3.
Going through all the technicalities, contact each coach, let the scoring table know.
I'll tell you the one thing I like about that ref you just saw in the picture so far is the guys hustling out there.
Yeah, he's not just walking.
Seen too many of those guys doing that over the...
That was a 2-point basket, Stu.
Zepnik has 4, and that's the size of the Southwest lead right now. Sorensen brings it into the attacking zone for the Red Wings.
Taking it hard to the hoop. If he had a left hand, he could have scooped that one right over the defense again.
South will get free throws this time as the foul was called against Zepnik.
Well, he's been pretty active this quarter with a foul and a couple of baskets.
So Scott Murphy is at the line. He hits the first shot. We'll get a second. Murphy, just a sophomore.
He didn't start the season, Stu. He had mono, I believe, and missed a few games early on. But he's been improving as the season has moved along, and now that he's got his sea legs, he's earned himself a starting lineup.
Scramble for the ball underneath. Shot didn't go for Zepnik, and then he'll be called for his second personal.
I was going to say a position in the starting lineup. I'll get it out right yet.
I knew you would. Andy Prislin is in the game for South now.
Now the A-team's on the floor.
Hoistrup on the right arc. Murphy took a look from 3, but thought better of it. Sorensen trying to fight off a pick. Kicks it out to Prislin. Cloister split the defense that time, and I think St. John will be called for the foul.
I was watching Matthew Baymert, number 15. He was doing a real good defensive number on Aaron Sorensen, not allowing him to get open.
Marcus Ninneman checks in for the first time, and Wilson also comes back into the game for South. In fact, Wilson will inbound. Murphy gets it underneath and scores. Nice presence under the hoop that time, Marty.
Very good. Used his body well to shield off the defense, and he could have done that one other time if he could have used his left hand, but much more comfortable on the right-hand side.
St. John on the left side will bring it to the middle of the court, over to Baymert. Ball knocked away by Murphy.
Pohl's trying to establish good low post position, but Murphy a little bit quicker, able to get around the offensive player.
Marveling at how clear that picture is on the new monitor.
Yeah. Headsets don't work though.
What headsets?
Yeah, really. I believe this is the first time I've announced the game without a headset on.
I know it's definitely the first time I have.
Now I don't feel so bad. Because you're the old pro.
I don't know about that. David will bring it in. We were just talking how you're the dean.
Yeah,
The
TV.
guru and the dean. Bounce pass, jump shot, St. John, and he scores.
Oh, Billy St. John with a very quick release. He barely caught the ball, and it was off on its way to the basket.
I always used to try to preach the fact that you should always be ready and in a position when you receive the ball to shoot or, maneuver with it. And he did a good job of being set up before he got the pass. Brislin for three. And we're
Andy
tied.
had his feet set that time, Stu. Caught it and fired it right up there.
First three-point basket of the ball game. And the game's knotted at 8.
Southwest not noted for their three-point shooting. South is.
Look how far away from the basket they are. On the drive, though, it was Jesse Jones. You got an official
Officials
timeout.
timeout. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Jacob Wilson turned an ankle. Here he sees trying to walk it off.
We've got 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Southwest leading South 10-8.
Watch off the ball, ladies and gentlemen. See the screening that South does, trying to get their shooters open.
Cloister had a little size mismatch there, 5'10 versus 6'8. Little head fake.
Whoa. Looked like Southwest went to a zone that time.
A little bit of a matchup maybe. And there's a case too. Prislin thought the pass was for Sorensen. Sorensen started to cut for the basket because he thought it was going to Prislin.
And Casey Zakowski made the catch.
Surprised he didn't shoot it. I think Casey may have led the Valley in scoring one of his years. He was a 3-year starter at Southwest back in the 70s. There's a story from the 70s, Marty.
That's where you're an expert.
On the drive, Jesse Jones.
Meister on a good move.
Southwest doing a good job of scrambling on defense. Prislin gets the open look. Shot's no good, but a foul is called. I think Jones is going to be whistled for the personal.
The other thing I appreciate the official doing is, when the player questions him about something, he doesn't turn his back on him. He explains what his call was and why he made it. Not that always makes you feel better as a player, but at least, another ball thrown out of bounds.
Turnover-filled quarter for the Red Wings. Between their shooting percentage and turnovers, I think they're fortunate to only be down 4 right now.
I think you're right, especially the way they started off shooting.
1:27 to play here in the opening quarter. Southwest with the ball and a 4-point lead at 12-8. Marcus Gavert with the ball at the top of the key. St. John kicks it inside to Brossard, taken away. Red Wings the other way. This is Sorensen. Shoveled the pass to Prislin, back to Sorensen. He'll take the 3. Hard off the rim, no good. St. John clears the board for the Trojans.
Well, Aaron trying to free himself up, faked the pass back to the top of the key, which drew the defense off of him, but he wasn't able to hit the 3-pointer.
Jones was instant offense here in the last couple minutes of the quarter, but he misses that shot. We're under 45 seconds to play now.
Well, the game being played at a scoring pace that Southwest certainly feels comfortable with.
35 seconds to go, and Dan Koopman singles for one shot. Southwest looking like what, a 1-2-2 zone here, Marty?
I would say a 1-2-2 zone is right. And I think that's what threw South off a little bit that last trip. They didn't recognize it.
13 seconds to go. The Red Wings will get serious about looking at the hoop. Sorensen for the top of the key. No good. Rebound by Poles. 6 seconds to go. St. John across half court. Tried to get it up. It was stolen by Koistra. And actually goes out of bounds ending the quarter. So Green Bay Southwest will lead Sheboygan South after 12-8. And you see a young fan and a younger fan in the stands. Welcome back to South High School. Stu Hoffensberger with Mike Martin. About ready to start the second quarter where South trails Southwest 12-8.
A little halftime entertainment besides the dance team tonight. We did an interview with John Lampy and Marcus Ninneman, so stay tuned for that.
St. John sees parted, and St. John gets an easy basket. He's got 4.
He's tough on that drive to the hoop, Stu. He's a big guy, and once he got his shoulders in front, there was no stopping him.
Biggest lead of the game for the Trojans as Drew Pills is into the game for South.
As is Nick Phelan. Lampy also in.
Josh Zastro in. He's got a whole new cast of characters. And a steal. Al McGuire used to do this his first couple years at Marquette. Bring a whole new 5 in and get him to stir things up a little bit.
Southwest wasn't expecting it.
That was Pills out front with the ball. Now this is Josh Zastro. Phelan looked inside. I tell you what, a lob to Lampy would have worked right there. Somebody get it to the big guy. Come on. Phelan has his pass taken away by Gabert. On the drive and scores Jason Fraser. South will take a time. It's going to be a 30-second time, so I guess sometimes those kinds of strategies backfire.
It did backfire. They had 2 possessions down on this end and didn't get anything out of those. And he had his 5 players he wanted back in the ball game at the table, but after 2 Southwest scores, he couldn't afford to wait any longer.
Well, the thing you got to be concerned about now is putting some points on the board. Southwest on an 8-point run, and South has gone about 5 minutes without a point.
And not only without a point, Stu, they're having trouble getting shots at the hoop. You know, we talked about early on, and basically throughout the quarter, they didn't shoot well. And over the last period of time, they're having trouble getting a shot off.
Murphy, Schultz, Koistra, Sorensen, and Prislin now in the ball game for the Red Wings. Murphy gets the ball at the free throw line. Pass back out to Koistra. Sorensen for 3. Tell you what, they're going to have to hit some outside shots to get Southwest out of that zone.
I was thinking you'd think that South would be happy they're in a zone because they could shoot over it, but it's not been the case so far here tonight.
Red Wings force a turnover, and this is Koistra up front. Murphy turned 15-footer, in and out, no good. Fight for the rebound, and finally controlled by South. Great hustle by Schultz. Long shot, Koistra no good. Trojans get it back.
Well, Southwest has been playing tough defense, but South just is not able to put the ball in the hoop so far. They've had some good opportunities the last couple of trips.
Reach and foul going to be called against Koistra. First personal against Aubrey. Gavert pass inside for an easy 2 to Zepnik, and it's an 18-8 game. Zepnik has 6. Sorensen splits the defense and hits a little 10-foot pull-up, and South breaks a 10-point run by the Trojans.
Well, no matter how you cut it, Stu, you know, once you get the lid off the basket for yourself, hopefully that'll start a run for Aaron Sorensen, because he's had his troubles so far in the ball game.
That's his first basket. Steal by Prislin. He's got the breakaway layup and scores.
Well, I think not starting tonight has certainly set a fire under Andy Prislin. 3-point basket, now a steal for a layup.
Prislin has 5, and the Trojan lead cut to 6. Jesse Jones had it for a moment. Now this is St. John out front. Gavert hits the cutter, and Jones hits the easy bucket.
A good movement on the offense by Southwest.
Koistra splits the defense. Nice pass. Score by Schultz.
A real nice penetrating pitch by Aubrey Koistra for an easy 2 points. Brian Schultz getting the hoop.
Schultz, second basket of the ball game. He had South's first points this evening. St. John, 10-footer.
Not much you can do about that.
Murphy, little 5-foot turn and scores. Murphy has 5.
A lot of up and down action, which is good for South, but they got to play better defense.
We had 3:54 to go. Just a short timeout being taken by Casey Ziskowski, a 30-second jobber.
Actually, that up and down action, Stu, is kind of fun for us.
They've already scored more points, or as many points in the first 4 minutes of the second quarter as they did in the entire 8 minutes of the first.
That's for sure, and the lid has gotten off the basket for both teams, and I think that's why Casey Ziskowski called a timeout. He wanted his team to start playing the better defense. You know, a lot of times people think that, you know, they play a zone, you shoot over it, but you can penetrate like that, you can create a lot of problems for the defense, and that's what South
I'll
has
tell you
done.
this, if you can penetrate like South has been these last couple trips, you're not playing much of a zone.
That's your basic standing zone. Wave at them as they go by.
Southwest with the basketball. They still have a 6-point lead. Prislin knocks it off a Southwest defender, and the Red Wings will get the ball back.
Very good quickness shown by Andy Prislin. Sorensen bringing it up. Southwest back into a man-to-man, Stu.
Sorensen spin move into the lane, has to drop it back out to Prislin. Koistra for 3. Murphy tracks down the rebound. Back to Koistra. He tries to drive, kicks it out to Prislin. No good from 3. And South gets another offensive board.
A lot of reloads this trip. They need to get a hoop.
Just over 3 minutes to play. Ninneman will give it back to Koistra. Sorensen, 15-footer. That's no good. Oh, I thought South would get it again, and now Prison will get called for the foul. As aggressive as South has been, only their 4th team foul here in the first half.
Very good in that respect, and had some good looks at the basket, but again, you know, the lid seemed to be on it.
Remember what happened last week when I mentioned something about the lack of team fouls?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, there's only 2:48 left. Maybe your doom and gloom won't happen.
Well, check this out. We've got a 51 in the ball game for Southwest. No 51 on the roster.
Whoops.
So we'll just call him 51.
I could run over by my friends over at Southwest that helped us with the pronunciations.
Yeah, let's wait and see if he scores. Another turnover forced by the Red Wings, so they'll get the ball back. Green Bay Southwest went on a 10-0 scoring run at about the 3-minute mark of the first quarter it started. And that's been the difference here so far as they still lead by 6. Murphy inside, gets his own rebound and scores on the reload.
Good persistence there by Murphy. His height really helped too on that offensive rebound.
He's been impressive so far in the half. Handles himself well. St. John, pull up 10-footer, he answers.
He's tough.
St. John has 8 points. Frizzlin will drive the baseline and he scores.
Andy with a runner.
Frizzlin has 7 for the Red Wings. 1:50 to play, it's 24-20 Trojans.
Andy's getting offensive tonight.
51 with the ball. On the drive, that was Brossard still with the basketball. Pull up by Jones. That's in and out, no good. Ninneman controls the rebound. Sorensen ahead with 1:30 to go. Aaron Sorensen from the coffin corner drains it for 3.
Second three-pointer of the night for South.
First for Sorensen, who has 5, and South back within 1 as they've scored 9 of the last 11. Give and go, and a charge. Ben Brossard will be tagged with the foul. And so with 1:06 to go, South with a chance to go in front.
And good defense played by Scott Murphy. He recognized what happened and he stood his ground and took the charge.
James pulls back in for Southwest. 51 still in there, Marty. Koistra comes back in for the Red Wings.
Aubrey's the only member of the A team that hasn't scored a three-pointer tonight.
He hasn't scored at all. Sorensen on the dribble, gives to Prislin. This is Koistra up front. Right now it's all A team. Sorensen in the lane, fading 12-footer, and he hit it. Sorensen's got a hot hand right now with 7 points.
Rising above the crowd in the toaster to get that one.
All right, Eddie Doucette with the call. Under 30 seconds to go now. Southwest trails South 25-24. Brossard on the right wing.
Keep an eye on St. John. He's got the ball right now.
Southwest can't get much farther back in the corridor. They're going to be over and back. Under 5 seconds to go. Pulls. Gets it inside. Scores with 3 seconds. Sorensen, the long heave. No good. And that's the half. So Sheboygan South battles back and trails Green Bay Southwest at halftime by just 1, 26-25.
Make it better.
We usually do our player interviews after the game, but today we're going to start with a couple of interviews before the game, and we're going to be speaking a little bit about the Jefferson Reading Incentive Program. Joining me is Marcus Ninneman and John Lampe. And Marcus, what did you do as part of this Reading Incentive Program?
Well, this is my second time doing it because I did it during the football season. But we read to, I think I read to the kindergarten classes and a second grade class.
And John, who'd you read to?
I read to some fourth grade classes. And we answered some questions about how we balance our schedules and stuff. And then we handed out some prizes after we read.
Well, part of the Reading Incentive Program is it's individualized. Each student is given a goal to reach, and if they reach their goal, then they're allowed to throw their name in the hat and be part of a raffle. And John and Marcus were part of 8 other students that joined Jefferson in this Reading Incentive Program, and you said this was your second time.
Yeah, the first time we did it during football season, I think it was like the first quarter, and now it was the basketball players. So we got to give them out prizes that dealt with basketball.
Now, the other students that were involved were Steph Gordon and Ashley Garrett from South, and then it was Steph Brendel, Kim Lutzke, Brad Wayner, and Jake Susky from North. And, you know, you guys didn't have any classes this afternoon. You know, they talk about people liking to do this because you get out of class, but you were really giving of your time.
Yeah, I think it's good for us to get out and do some stuff with the community.
Also, I want to mention that Coach Koopman and Coach Desatel and Paul Combs from out at Lakeland all donated prizes, and kids are pretty excited about that.
Yeah, they were. They really enjoyed it. You could see on their face that they liked it. When we gave them their prize, that they liked it.
Now, prior to going on, I mentioned to Marcus that soccer was the next theme, and he's like, why is that?
I don't like soccer too much. I'm a football player.
How about you, John?
I don't know, I pretty much just play basketball.
Before we sign off, guys, talk a little bit about tonight's game against Southwest. We'll start with you, John.
I think it's going to be a tough game. It was pretty close last time we played them. We should be able to pick up some points and hopefully beat them this time.
I think we have to handle their defense because they're probably top ranked in our conference. But just take open shots. I think that's where we're going to beat them.
Now, John, I kind of put you on the spot during the presentation of the students over at Jefferson. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I was introducing myself, and then you brought up a point about having to dunk, and it kind of put me on the spot and had me pull one down.
I thought Brad Rayner was pretty smart. He gave you one of the small balls to dunk.
Yeah, that was good because I wasn't quite warmed up. I don't know if I could have put a full-size one down.
Guys, I want to thank you very much for not only stopping over at Jefferson, but for joining us here and allowing us to speak a little bit about the Reading Incentive Program. Good luck tonight, and stay tuned.
High school where it was a pretty entertaining second quarter after a slow start for the two teams. And at halftime, it's Green Bay Southwest 26, South 25. And Marty, I guess the prescription for the second half, if you're the Red Wings, are a little bit more of what they did in the second quarter.
Well, actually, you pointed out, you know, they had a very slow start. They didn't shoot the ball well. And then for a period of time in the second quarter, they were throwing the ball away and weren't getting any good shots. And here we look, after all of that, they're still only down 1. So, like you said, they must be doing something right.
I don't know if I like this new monitor. I see 2 guys with gray hair in there now. I used to not be able to see any. Looking at the scoring here in the first half.
At least from your end.
Yeah. Looking at the scoring here in the first half, Sheboygan South had 3 players with 7 points. It was Prisland, Sorensen, and Murphy. And Schultz added 4 for the Red Wings to come up with their 25. St. John for Southwest led all scorers with 8 points. Jesse Jones and Zepnik each had 6. Frazier, Poles, and Gavert each scored a bucket, and that gets us to our 26-25 total.
By the way, I got instructions before the game, Stu, that if Frazier goes down, there's to be no comical relief.
I'll do it then.
It's your turn.
Frazier did have a hoop.
So he did put one down.
Yes, he did.
You know, one matchup that I thought South could have done was moved Andy on. Oh,
Murphy, big power move inside, and he's fouled, and the Red Wings are back in front.
Defensively, it would put Prisland on Billy St. John for much of that second quarter. Aubrey Koister, who's a little bit shorter than St. John, was guarding him.
So Murphy with 9, a chance to get into double digits and give South its biggest lead of the night at 2 points. There you see Dan Koopman on the sideline. Murphy hit the free throw. He has 10, and it's 28-26 Red Wings. Just underway, third quarter. Mike Martin here along with me, Stu Hoppensberger. Oh, defensive breakdown, and Zepnik ties the game at 28. Sorensen had to hang on to that shot a little bit, and he missed it.
I thought Schultz got away with an over the back.
Murphy, I thought he was going to dunk that the way their lane opened up, but Murphy has 12 and South back in front.
Well, he looks very smooth out there, putting the ball on the floor for a big guy.
Zepnik on the right side. Murphy with the steal.
Again, good quickness in the low post.
Sorensen was trying to get the ball to Schultz, and it's taken away. Southwest will bring it the other way. On the drive, Gavert, little 10-footer. That's short. Good defense. Sorensen, Murphy with the board.
I'll tell you, that height advantage on defense can really pay dividends. Very difficult to get a good shot off of over a taller defender.
Prisland out front. Murphy will take the 3. A little bit out of his range that time.
Oh, brick there.
Sheboygan South 30, Southwest 28. Prisland just missed the steal. Jump shot, Brossard in and out. Rebound fought for. Ball still loose. Murphy comes up with it. And then a jump ball call. Pulls. It was sophomore on sophomore that time.
Mad scramble. Officials mercilessly called a jump ball. Stopped the action before someone got hurt.
You mean mercifully or mercilessly?
Whatever.
Can't even say mercilessly. How did you do that, Marty? I can't even say it.
I don't think I can repeat. It's kind of like some of those basketball moves. They just happen.
Fluid. St. John, nice pass inside. Zepnik stripped, but Southwest will get it back.
Scott Murphy recognizing what was happening and got back there and was able to knock the ball away. And Zepnik looking at his hand, he got it hit pretty hard.
Hand's part of the ball if it's on it. Inbounding Gavert. Oh, wide open.
2 defenders went with St. John. That left Zepnik wide open in the middle.
That looked like the Packers versus the Rams last week. Notice I didn't say the Bears-Eagles.
Well, at least the Bears led in their game.
Now they're going to both be in front of the same TVs come Sunday. Double dribble turnover against South, and so Southwest with a tie score gets the ball back.
South could really use a strong defensive possession right now.
St. John on the drive before the shot. They're going to call Koistra with a hold.
Well, what happened there, Brian Schultz's man went out to the side and he followed him a little bit too far, and that allowed a little bit of an opening for St. John, and then there wasn't the help needed to stop him, and somebody had to commit a foul, that being Aubrey Koistra.
Brossard will trigger the inbound pass for Southwest. Gavert inside to Zepnik. Well, I tell you what, he got bodied a couple of different times by Schultz, who gets the foul.
Would have been nice if this under official would have called him out of bounds, because his foot did hit the line.
I don't think the under official has a beat in his whistle.
Actually, they all use beatless whistles now, Stu. But I get the message.
Hey, there are some advantages to having this microphone. St. John, just about
almost.
a violation there. He'll take the 17-footer and miss. And Jesse
Ninneman
Jones
going high above. And he's going to get called for the over the back foul by Ninneman, I guess, Stu.
Wow. We need that instant replay camera in a bad way, Kerry. Kerry in the truck tonight, come on. No headphones, but we'll take the instant replay camera.
Instead, Scott always has the replays going.
Kerry wouldn't know. Favorite lobs it into Zepnik. He's stripped by Sorensen. Touches it last. South gets the ball.
And South gets that strong defensive possession that they needed. Now is a tough one too because Southwest was had a roll going. Let's see if South can score.
Five-minute mark, third quarter. This is Aaron Sorensen with a pass to Murphy. Murphy's got all the Red Wing points here in the quarter, 14 on the night.
Great penetration and the nice back cut by Scott, and Sorensen found him.
St. John's three-pointer in and out. Koistra fouled him, and he'll pick up his third.
Well, a couple of quick ones in the third quarter, and I think they're going to have to ship Aubrey to the bench for a while.
So St. John will get 3 free throws.
First free throws of the night for Southwest.
There's only been 7 fouls in the game called on the Red Wings. St. John misses the first. Chance for a trifecta.
Having said that, he'll probably make this one.
That's off the back of the rim. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Well, Wilson and Schultz come in, Ninneman and Koistra go to the bench.
St. John's third attempt also scored, and we're tied again at 32. St. John now with 10 points. Sorensen double team, kicks it out to Preslin. Preslin inside.
Get in there.
Shot won't go for Schultz, but he's fouled.
Oh, nice inside feed, and then Schultz making a good one-on-one move in the middle of the lane.
Jesse Jones called for his second. It's the second team foul of the half for Southwest, and they have only been whistled for 7 fouls tonight. I'm really pushing my luck here, Marty.
7 up. Dion Cola.
Schultz hits his first free throw, giving South the lead again.
This is only going to be the 5th free throw for South. Southwest only shooting 3 tonight so far. You see some of the fans.
Schultz misses his second. 1 point South lead. Right side, this is Baymert. St. John will take it into the lane, pull up 12-footer, hard off the bracket, kept alive, and tipped in by Zepnik.
Swatted at the ball and got it to go through.
Zepnik with 12 points for the Trojans, and they're back in front, 34-33. Murphy would have just leaned in that time. He had the defender off. He might have picked up the foul. Stripped on the drive is Wilson, and Southwest has the ball. Zepnik turns and drives. No good. Rebound pulls. No good. Murphy finally controls for the Red Wings.
South dodging a bullet there. Southwest had a couple of good shots at the hoop.
Zepnik has looked good tonight, hasn't he, Marty?
He's looked very good. He's done a lot of different things well.
Murphy almost stripped, and now will take the 17-footer and drill it just inside the arc. He's done it from everywhere tonight.
I thought he shuffled his feet on the turn after he got hit that second time.
I think you're right.
But we'll take it.
Give and go, and then Brossard loses it out of bounds.
There's a case where the offhand swung a little too hard and he forgot to take the ball with him. clearing the defense away.
John Lampy and Phelan back in the ball game for the Red Wings. Lampy 6'7", South's tallest player this year.
Lampy doing a little dunk shot at Jefferson this afternoon.
Well, South has scored 10 points here in the third quarter, and Murphy's got 9 of them. He's been the big story here, keeping South in the ball game.
You better get the ball to your shooters or shooter.
Sorensen, they gave him the 3, and I think he might have caught a break there. I thought a foot was inside the arc.
Either way, it was sweet. Phelan with a steal, Stu, and he lays it up and in.
And a
What
big
happened?
swing for the Red Wings.
Brossart didn't look. He just threw the ball into St. John, and Phelan got the jump on it, picked it right off, and took it in for the easy 2.
And there's a timeout called for by Green Bay Southwest. It's only going to be a 30. 2:19 to go here in the quarter.
Well, what happened is Brossart took the ball out of bounds after the basket, and instead of checking the defense, he just threw it right to his player, who was actually heading down the floor. Phelan recognized that, Stu, and came up, made a really great interception, and laid it up and in.
Well, and Sorensen got it going with a sweet-looking jump shot that he got 3 points for to put South up 38-34. Now they're looking at their largest lead of the night, and Phelan with a chance to complete the 3-point play the hard way.
You know what I like, Stu, is when you look down, then I get to do a little play-by-play.
You had the exciting one that time, Marty.
How'd I do?
I loved it. You're a PT peer, baby.
Let's hope Phelan is, too.
This is on the free throw. Lampy rebound. Inside, fouled. All right, I got a little action that time.
Lampy, not a real strong kid, but he was able to muscle up and showed pretty good footwork getting inside position on Poles to get the rebound.
Poles his first personal. So Lampy with 2 free throws with 2:16 to go here in the quarter.
Well, all of a sudden, South up by 6.
Now 7. And Lampy will get another free throw. Second one is hard off the bracket. Gabert controls for Southwest. Trojans trail by 7.
Well, South really looking intense on the defense right now.
Brossart on the drive, fouled. Phelan, I think, will get called for the foul.
Kind of got beat going to the middle, and then he did the old Ginsu hatchet chop.
Sorensen got called for that one.
Oh, really? Now the referee's missed another one.
The Ginsu chop hatchet job.
That's a Claire Balco line. And a little Ginsu on Friday night at basketball.
We're under 2 minutes now in the quarter. Zepnik had a cutter inside. Instead, he'll drive.
Oh.
And hit the little sweeping half hook.
Would that be classified as a shot?
Well, it counts as a field goal. That's all I know. 14 for Zepnik. South leads by 5.
Oh. Phelan looking for the back cut, but Wilson wasn't.
Wow, Wilson was cutting. The pass was behind him.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered.
The one thing he did do is Maury Vricky was in, and now he's back out. We didn't get a chance to mention him being in.
But you did mention him going out.
You throw the ball at a defender's head, and in most cases he won't touch the ball. He'll duck, and that's what happened that time. Unfortunately, the South player had gone the other way.
Yeah.
Little move inside.
That should be a charge. Let's see what they get. Oh,
They're going to call it on the arm by the other player. I tell you, it's really a rob job if Phelan got the foul, too. That's a robbery. That's a robbery. It's the ref I like, no less, that made the call.
Yeah, there you get a good shot of Nick Phelan, number 31 for South. And
Nick, you had good position that time. We'd like to show it on the replay camera, but we can't. Jason Frazier with the free throw.
No mercy shown by Stu on that replay comment. I think Kerry makes the recommendation for the raises.
We could replay the comment, but we don't have a replay camera. Frazier hits both free throws, and it's a 3-point game. Frazier with 4 points on the night.
South was just up 7.
Sorensen, pull up, 10-footer. He hit it.
Sweet.
Sorensen with 12.
Makes a good quick move to the hoop. The defense falling back, and then he rises above the crowd.
Frazier left corner. Spin move. Free throw line extended, kicks it back out to Gavert. We're under 45 seconds in the third quarter.
Jacob Wilson working very hard on Billy St. John.
Zepnik traveled, got away with it. Lampy then blocks his shot. Pulls from 15 feet, hits the jumper.
Well, I thought that was going to be a good shot for South. Pulls a little out of his range, but that was not the case.
Red Wings will play for the final shot of the quarter. Under 20 seconds now. Sorensen with 13 seconds. Now under 10. He'll take it from 3, short of its mark. Frazier from 3/4 court, hit the top of the board and no good. So after 3 quarters, South leading Southwest 43-40.
8 teams on the floor, Stu.
Hey, you better talk. My mic was down.
Now it's up.
Welcome back to South High. Stu Hoppensberger with Mike Martin. Fourth quarter just underway. Sheboygan South with a 3-point lead in the basketball. Aaron Sorensen along with Scott Murphy were the big guns for South in an 18-point third quarter. They scored 15 for the Red Wings. Koistra drives and scores. He's on the board.
Aubrey working very hard, coming off of 2 screens to get open and get the ball, and then he took it down the lane for 2.
45-40 Red Wings. Inside, Zepnik had position but knocked away by Brian Schultz. On the break, Koistra, no good with the layup. Frazier rebounds for Southwest.
A good move by Aubrey, but he just couldn't get it to go.
St. John, I think of Murphy with a little acting job there, but
that was actually good defense by Murphy, not allowing Billy St. John to get open in the corner.
Frazier, 10-footer, scores.
6 points for Jason Frazier.
And a foul called as well. Frazier picks up the foul. It's his first. Southwest is in the bonus on the next South foul. However, the Trojans still have one to give.
Your mentioning of the not a lot of fouls hasn't really come into play so far.
Red Wings with a 3-point lead, 45-42. Koistra guarded by St. John. Prislin to Murphy. Murphy drives to the hoop, doesn't score, keeps it alive, and the Red Wings come out with the offensive rebound. Koistra got caught up in the air and throws it away.
Aubrey's having a very difficult time getting shots because Billy St. John, number 1, is a very good defender, and number 2, he's taller.
That's a good lesson for young players right there, though. You make sure you know what you're going to do before you go up in the air, because once that happens, you're pretty committed. Unless you've got unbelievable hang time.
Really.
Southwest in a one-possession game. St. John short of the mark. And Koister's going to be called for the foul. That'll be his 4th. And for the second time, St. John will go to the line for 3 free throws.
Well, what I find interesting, Stu, is St. John was coming on the baseline right in front of us, knocked Murphy right to the floor, right in front of the official, no call. Koistra fights through a screen, and he gets called for a foul.
Well, St. John hit 2 of 3. Last time he had 3 free throws.
There you see a replay of what happened. Watch Koistra go through, and then he pushes after the shot.
Excellent job in the truck. Way to go, Kerry. St. John hit his first free throw.
And if you might have looked at that replay and said, well, yeah, he did push him, but if they're going to call a foul on the shooter, that actually happened after the shot was gone. They're not letting Wilson in the game because he reported to the table too late, and Dan Koopman not happy with that. He wanted to get Aubrey Koistra off the floor for a few minutes.
Well, either that or Coop didn't think that there was a 3-shot foul called.
Yeah, that's,
you have to wait for that
last shot,
last free throw.
And that definitely was the case because Wilson's now in the game.
St. John hits all 3 free throws, and we're deadlocked at 45 all with 5:50 to go. Timeout, Sheboygan South.
Dan Koopman not very happy at all.
I think he's going to take a 30-second timeout. And if it just started now, he's going to get about 45.
Well, Stu, I think that real important this trip in particular that South get a hoop, get themselves back on track, and then come back down and play a good defensive possession.
Well, they need to get their scorers involved. Murphy and Sorensen have been the guys tonight. Murphy with 16 and Sorensen with 12.
Well, a lot of familiar faces up there. There's Bitsy Wyman in the middle of the picture.
Coach Koopman still pleading his case on that last call. Every point's going to be critical here, the way things are looking. It's coming right down to the
I just thought of something, Stu. Having these mics the way they are, it'd be a little easier for you to stand up and yell at the official. There it is.
Alley-oop to Sorensen, and he scores. Nice play coming out of the timeout. Sorensen with 14, and South back in front by 2.
Uncharacteristically catching Southwest sleeping.
Zepnik loses the ball on the drive, but he'll get it back.
You know, one thing that happened on that cut down the baseline by St. John is I think it was Wilson got a lot of help from his teammates. Somebody stepped out and prevented the pass to Billy St. John.
Gavert to Frazier. Frazier for 3. In and out. Sorensen clears the board for the Red Wings. Murphy, pull up, 17-footer. I think that was a pass. He got it back.
It was a pass.
Sorensen from downtown, no good. Murphy will get called for the foul.
You missed it.
That's it.
That was Frazier.
Frazier went down. He's hurt. Down goes Frazier. You do it better, Marty. Come on.
Oh, you know, sometimes these seasons get pretty long, but we've been blessed this year.
It was a foul on Murphy. Murphy was the one that knocked Frazier down.
Not Ali.
Good thing it wasn't Holmes or
Lennox
Foreman.
Lewis. He took a bite out of my leg.
Hopefully they got some Bactine on that cut after that little skirmish the other day.
Well, for coming off the bench, Frazier has 8 points. He's having a good night.
Ties the game at 47 all. 5 minutes to go. This is Marty, you're talking about how many years you've been doing this now with Pat Summerall hanging it up as Brian Schultz scores. You may be one of the deans in all of broadcast in terms of longevity.
I don't think so. Ooh, there's a moving screen big time.
Shot short. Rebound kicked back out to Southwest. This is Gavert. Zepnik on the drive. Ball's coming my way. Mike Martin retrieving the ball. I really thought he was going to take a shot there, but he chose not to.
He took these baskets down behind us.
Brian Schultz called that time for the foul. You know what? I really thought Zepnik created more of the contact on that drive.
He pushed off big time with his offhand.
Gets the free throw there, and we'll get another chance. Second one no good. Zepnik with 15. South now ahead by 1. Sorensen across the timeline. Murphy on the left side.
Be patient, boys.
Now Prislin. Murphy, 17-footer, a little bit of a force. Frazier with the rebound.
Not good legs on that shot, Stu. He wasn't really set.
49-48, South leads. They've been in front most of the second half. St. John pull-up, jumper, and he hit it.
Well, first basket for St. John in a while. He's been money on his free throws.
Timeout asked for by Sheboygan South. 3:35 to play in this one. Southwest leading 50-49. We're back at South High School. They don't look too concerned.
It's great to be young and in love.
I think they're hoping for overtime, Marty.
All right. Little OT never hurt anybody.
There you see a little look at the South huddle. Dan Koopman and the gang trying to bring this one home. 3:35 to go. They'll have the ball, trailing by 1.
Gotta give Southwest credit. You know, they got the ball to their money man, and he came through, Billy St. John. Let's see if South can do the same. Aubrey Koister back in the ball game with 4 fouls. I'm sure he'll stay in now.
Sorensen gets the inbounds pass just across the timeline now, and he'll set the South offense.
I think Southwest is in the zone again.
Sorensen, left corner, he'll bring it back out top. Koister into Murphy. Murphy in the lane will dish it back out. Cross court pass to Prislin. Koister on the drive, and he's fouled by Gavert.
I was hoping we'd see some penetration on that, Stu, because South had a lot of success in the first half penetrating the zone and dishing off.
Well, I think, too, Murphy panicked a little bit, and that's something, you know, a year from now, or
right.
Certainly if he was a senior, he would have probably gathered himself. He could have taken that right to the hoop that time. Even though he did, you know, lose the dribble a little bit in the lane. Sorensen on the drive, lost it on the way, off Zepnik, though, and South gets a break.
A good hard move to the basket by Aaron, but quick hands by Southwest knocked it away.
Sorensen will bring it in bounds. Murphy in the lane, and he's fouled. Zepnik, his third personal, and 2 shots coming Sheboygan South's way.
Another good offensive move by Scott Murphy in the lane.
Murphy has 16, but yet to score a point here in the fourth quarter.
What did he have in that third quarter? 9?
He had 9. Nine of South's first 10 in that third quarter. Ties the game with that first free throw. Boy, looks solid on both of those, Marty.
He's hit 4 out of 5 in the ball game.
51-50. South leads. Oh, Zepnik was wide open and had the easy 2.
Little payback for what South did earlier in the ball game on the backdoor lob.
17 for Zepnik. Koistra out front, closely guarded by St. John, and he threw it away.
Well, St. John has really frustrated Aubrey Koistra tonight. A good substitution. Get Aubrey off the floor with his 4 fouls.
And Casey Zukowski wants to talk things over with his Southwest team. 2:27 remaining. And it's a full timeout. Southwest leads 52-51. Back at Sheboygan South. Look at a couple of fans, probably concerned fans at this point. South trailing Southwest 52-51, 2:27 to go.
One thing you mentioned during the break, Stu, when we were off camera, is the number of turnovers that South has committed, and I made the comment that a lot of those turnovers are unforced. I mean, they're just throwing the ball out of bounds.
How is it, Marty, whenever you look in this book, you always open it up right up to the Fox River Valley Conference page? There.
133, that's why.
Oh, you got it memorized. Just checking to see who Manitowoc was playing tonight. And,
or last night.
And they are playing Green Bay East, so a fairly important game for Manitowoc. But the reason I bring that up is next Friday night, we're at Sheboygan North for a pivotal game in the conference as Manitowoc travels to Sheboygan North. And those 2 teams went into play tonight, tied for first place in the league.
South scrambling on defense.
Zepnik, there's got to be well, I was going to say there's got to be a 3-second, but then the ball got knocked loose, and Jones and Schultz tied up. The possession arrow favors Southwest.
South scrambling very hard, trying to double team the ball. Southwest played hot potato and almost got their man open underneath.
St. John will bring it in for Southwest. Zepnik drives.
Sorensen thought he had the ball, but the official obviously didn't see it that way.
All right, I'm putting the mic down now, Marty.
Does that mean I get to talk finally?
So Zepnik will go to the line for free throws. He was 1 for 2 on his last trip. With 2:01 to go, a chance to pad a 1-point Trojan lead.
A couple of good substitutions for South with the offensive-minded Murphy and Koistra coming back in. And Phelan.
.201 to play. Zepnik with his second attempt. Made that one, and it's a 2-point game. Under 2 minutes now.
St. John still on Koistra.
Murphy out front. Backdoor pass to Phelan, and he's fouled.
Well, Frazier got a good block, but I think it was Gaver didn't. Oh, they're going to get Mark wasn't wrong for the Guru.
The Guru strikes out on that one. Second foul goes against Frazier. So big free throws coming the way of Nick Phelan.
Phelan had an opportunity at a three-point play and missed his free throw. Let's see if he can come through with a couple here.
Nothing but net on the first one. Hit them both, and that's 4 points for Phelan. Prislin will check back in. We saw it a pivotal 18 seconds for Phelan. He came in at the 2:01 mark. Got a pair of free throws to tie the game.
Another important defensive possession for the Red Wings.
53 all. You know, Zepnik has been able to get position down low all night long. Oh, what's that?
Oh,
It's a turnover.
well, it looked like a turnover on top with steps, but instead he accommodated South and threw it out of bounds.
You know, I believe the way the rule book is written, that's a discontinued dribble. And so while it looks bad, as long as he didn't try to advance,
You know,
can
the
get
same
away
thing
with
just
that.
happened to Sorensen.
Well, they're consistent on the call. Prisland had his shot blocked, but there's a foul away from the shot.
There are some shenanigans going on underneath the basket. I didn't see what it was.
Three, Zepnik. Nope, 3-5. Jesse Jones.
Well, Brian Schultz will be going to the line. He's 1 for 2 tonight, Stu.
Chance to put South back in front with 1:09 to play. Oh, good touch, but the ball wouldn't fall, and so Southwest gets it back, tied at 53. Gavert walks it into the attacking zone for the Trojans. I'd say Zepnik and St. John are the guys to watch. Casey Zukowski wants a timeout. 51 seconds left in this one, and we're all tied at 53. And we're back at South High School, 53-53 the score, as the Trojans and Red Wings are all knotted up. There you see the tail right there of the scoreboard.
Well,
And,
Stu, give our fans your take on this timeout and what Southwest might do.
Yeah, one thing they could do is they may try, if they have a timeout left, they may try to take about 25 seconds off the clock and then call another timeout, because I think 51 seconds is just way too much time to burn.
I agree with you there.
The other option is what you think they might do, isn't it?
Well, I thought they might pull the ball out and look for back cuts to the basket for a layup, you know, and that's what they're going to do. If they don't get the layup, they won't take the shot. But I like your plan. I think that would be a good coaching strategy.
I think a lot of times here, if you are going to try to take the clock down, you make it look like you're attacking the basket so that you don't get a lot of pressure from the defenders. You know, sometimes you bring it out and then all of a sudden it takes you out of your flow and it's hard to get back into it. We're under 30 seconds to go now. Now 25, so it looks like they're definitely going for the last shot. This is Gavert with 20 seconds to go. Gavert at the 15-second mark. St. John with 11, and they're not going to take a time. They're going to just go for the last shot. Frazier with 7. Jones, Gavert on the drive, 15-footer, in and out, and we're going to overtime.
Ho-ho! I thought he had a pretty good shot at the hoops, Stu. He just couldn't get it to go. And
he had to take a little bit of a fade on that jump shot, and that might have been the difference.
You're right. You know, that's how he cleared himself from the defense, and South catches a bit of a break. And we were both wrong. They took it all the way down, and actually they did very,
They may
very
not
well.
have had a timeout left.
You're right, and we have been tracking that here at our table, but anyway, Southwest was really, really good at taking the clock down and handling the ball.
I think the other thing you have to do is credit South that time. The two players that I've got to believe Southwest were looking for were Zepnik or St. John. And when it got down to crunch time at the 10-12 second mark, those guys were covered. They had to go to Gavert.
I was watching Aubrey Koistra play defense, and he was running his tail off, just like St. John was, to try and get open. So credit both sides.
Well, they'll put 4 minutes back on the clock here for the first overtime. Not a lot of scoring in that final quarter. That got us to this 53 all.
Well, Southwest had 13 in the quarter. South only scored 10.
Red Wings will have Murphy, Schultz, Koistra, Prislin, and Sorensen. Southwest with Zepnik, Frazier, Gavert, St. John, and Jesse Jones. As we start overtime.
Oh, not a high toss.
It was for the ref. He's not real tall. St. John will drive into the middle. Hanging jumper, soft touch. And Southwest back in front by 2.
Well, St. John has been doing it basically all night, showing a little hang time that shot.
17 points for St. John. Sorensen with the basketball and loses it out of bounds.
Little offense-defense substitutions, this time the defensive end of it. Koistra going out with 4 fouls, Jacob Wilson checking in.
3:26 to go. Green Bay Southwest with a 2-point lead.
Oh, St. John looked like he was open on the back cut, but they missed him.
Frazier outside with the dribble will give to Gavert.
Well, they're going
Jones
to take her down.
traveled, got away with it.
You're going to take it down 3 minutes?
I'll tell you what, that doesn't go on your fundamental film right there. Zepnik from the 3-point arc. No good. Long rebound to Jones. And a foul is going to be called on Prislin before the shot.
A bit of a bad break. I thought Zepnik took a bad shot from about 16 feet out on the side, and then South couldn't get a bounce. Southwest got it back. This will be Jesse Jones's first trip to the free throw line, Stu.
Jones will have a chance to give Southwest their largest lead of the second half. But misses on the first. Both teams now are in the double bonus, so 2-shot free throws minimally the rest of the way. We've already seen a couple of 3-shot trips tonight. Oh, 0 for 2 trip for Jones, and so South with a chance to tie or go into the lead.
Oh, almost a travel.
Almost a turnover. And then St. John called for the block.
St. John's playing very heavy defense, but caught a little bit too much body of Jacob Wilson.
Just his second foul. And so a pair of free throws coming up for Jacob Wilson. .230 to go. We're in the first overtime. Stu Hoffensberger along with Mike Martin. And Wilson gets the first free throw. Prislin will come back in for Phelan. Wilson for the tie. No good. Hard off the bracket. Long rebound to St. John. 55-54. Southwest with the lead in the basketball.
Well, we've seen it time and again, Stu. Free throws are extremely important, and you got to hit those.
Jones out front. Now St. John, he's guarded by Wilson. St. John scores.
Little hop step in the lane, and again he put it up and in.
Still a one-possession game at 57-54. And a timeout signaled for by Sheboygan South. 1:51 to play. We're in the first overtime. Southwest leads by 3. Some concerned onlookers here at Sheboygan South. The Red Wings trail by 3, 57-54. And Marty, where's the outside firepower tonight?
You had mentioned, even though South is down 3, it's only a one-possession game, and that got me to thinking, when was the last time that South hit a 3? They didn't have one the entire fourth quarter. Aaron Sorensen has the lone second half 3, that happening probably early on in the third quarter, I believe.
It was about midway through that the time gave South a 38-34 lead.
There you see Jason Lederman and Mike Rank.
And I think part of that, Marty, is a testament to Southwest. They have really stretched out their defense tonight and have really done a good job of covering the arc.
They've done that extremely well, and they've also seemed to shut off the back cutting that South had done earlier in the ball game.
It's South ball. They trail by 3. We're under 2 minutes here in the first overtime. Phelan back in the game for the Red Wings. Koistra drives against St. John. Nice pass to Phelan, who scores.
Well, it looked like he had a couple of options, Stu. He picked Phelan, the right man.
And we've got another timeout with 1:31 to play, and South trails by 1. Hey, there's one of our cameramen.
Eric Burmeister,
Our up camera.
the up man.
Now they're going to get a shot of our down camera. Come on.
Where's Fritz?
Where's Brian? Not Waldo. Brian. Where's Brian?
Brian's
That's
camera
not
shy.
Brian. Come on, Kerry. Where's Brian? Kerry is the guy in the
Coming
truck.
right up.
Kerry Coucher. There. All right, Brian. These guys do a great job week in and week out, and I'm telling you, people, they are not making a ton of money.
Is that directed at Mike Hutz?
No, it's not. The point is, people get a
The
chance
love of
to
the
watch
game, right?
high school basketball. They come out here because they enjoy doing it and do a great job of it. We're in overtime here. Green Bay Southwest just barely beat the 10-second clock.
And what South did is they set up a diamond-type trap, try and throw Southwest off.
This is Zepnik. He'll kick it back out to Jones. 1:10 to go. Almost stolen. Southwest leads by 1. Get to almost Frazier. This is Gavert. He's double teamed. St. John will take the 3. In and out. Rebound Sorensen. He got hit. No call. And I'll tell you what, St. John follows his miss that time, and they would have got the ball back.
Well, I gotta believe, if they're a little more patient, they get a better shot than that.
South with the ball. They trail by 1. And Dan Koopman did have a timeout left because he takes it right now. 40 seconds to go. We'll keep it right here. It's 57-56. Southwest leading South. All right, Marty, you're coaching the Red Wings.
Well, let me talk about the last possession by Southwest, because I thought they really had South scrambling. And you're looking at possibly a backdoor cut or a drive to the basket, and at least you're going to get fouled. I thought that was an ill-advised shot by Billy St. John. Now for South, what they got to do is spread the floor, try to get their driving lanes open. They haven't got many back cuts off of those drives, although Koister did the last time when he dished off to Phelan. And I think that's where you're going to make your money if you're South, a drive and a pitch.
They definitely need to come away with something on this possession.
A foul shot, something to get the game either in your favor or at least tied.
If there's one thing that's plagued South tonight, it's been protecting the ball and getting a shot off the possession. So you don't want to see an unforced error. You want to at least get a good look, or otherwise get something inside where you are going to get fouled.
Exactly right. On that last shot, you saw the Bauers. I graduated with their son, Mark Bauer, back in '68. That might classify as a story from the '60s.
That's numbing. That's numbing to think about that. 1968, Marty.
Those were the good old days.
I wasn't even in junior high yet.
That's when you were watching me play.
You're right. 40 seconds to go. South with the ball. Huge possession. And I wish we were counting timeouts because I'm wondering if South does have any. Koistra was stripped by Frazier but fouled on the arm, and so he's going to get free throws with 22.9 seconds to go.
We've had other games this year, and Aubrey's had his troubles at the line. He's going to have two. I'll tell you, that second free throw would be a lot less pressure packed if he could nail his first free throw.
End of timeout. 57-56. Southwest leads South. We'll be back. South high onlookers wondering what the outcome is going to be here. 57-56. Their team trails right now with 22.9 seconds to go. But Aubrey Koistra about ready to go to the line to shoot two.
What Dan Koopman is saying in the huddle, Stu, is he's saying now after he makes these two, what we're going to do is this. And you always want to deal with it from a positive point of view as a coach and let him know that you have a lot of confidence in his ability to shoot free throws.
It's a catch-22 though, because if he misses both, you need to be talking about what you need to do to get it back.
That's what you say second. Here's what we do if he would happen to miss one.
Well, you're right though. This first one is huge because it takes a lot of pressure off if he makes it, and he does. 57-57.
You know, Aubrey doesn't have a lot of points. That's only his third. But this fourth point could be very, very important. It gives South the lead.
If he makes it and it stands up, I have a feeling you might talk to him after the game. Koistra with 4. Right now, South has got 6 guys on the court.
Koistra's off. Again, bringing in the defensive substitution.
So 22.9 seconds to go. I think Zepnik and St. John's are the guy you got to watch. Gavert at 15 seconds.
Andy Prislin on St. John.
Gavert, the 15-footer. Off, no good. Rebound.
That's a good call by the
foul called by Frazier. Intentional foul on Frazier.
That's a good call, Stu, because he wrapped him around the head right away and took him down.
Yeah.
Official was right on top of that one.
I'll tell you what, Kerry, if you can tee that one up in the truck, that'd be a good one to see again. And I guarantee you that was frustration on Frazier's part. He knew he was beat. There it is again, now watch.
There's the headlock.
Right there, and boom. I mean, that, you know, if nothing else, regardless of the intent, that's sort of like a face mask. You might not be trying to get the face mask, but once you do, that's it. And same there, he wrapped both arms around him. That had to be the call.
You didn't see it, but Jacob Wilson missed his first free throw.
Let's hope he gets this one. So Wilson hits one of two.
Well, the other thing, South gets possession. They need to get it in.
They need to get it in, and they need to make some free throws.
Again, all right. Well, he can't run. He's got to stay in his spot.
Still a one-possession game.
There he is. Get it to him.
Koistra gets it, and he's fouled. St. John whistled for the foul. That's St. John's third.
You could really tell the frustration because after St. John fouled him, Jason Frazier came over and fouled him again.
It's a good thing they didn't call it on Frazier because that would have been his fifth. He'd have been gone.
I only got him for 3.
Did you get him for that intentional?
No.
Koistra with a chance to make it a 3-point game, and he does.
Now there's a case, Stu, where I tell him how he's had trouble throughout the year with his free throw shooting when TV8 is here, and all of a sudden he starts banging them home.
Hey, he wants you to interview him after the game. What are you talking about? I hope we see him, Marty.
Really?
Got them both. 6 points for Koistra, and it's a 4-point lead. Now what you don't want to do is let him throw a long pass and get a quick shot. You want to make him take some time. That's what you wanted right there. Gavert. Don't
Let him
foul. He scores. And so 2.4 seconds to go. Gavert with the bucket makes it 61-59. Tell you what, they let him have that a little bit too easy.
I thought they did some things good, though, Stu. They forced him to catch the ball deep in the backcourt, and he had to dribble it all the way up. It would have been nice if they could have turned him one more time, but they didn't. And once they didn't, it was better off just to let him go.
Well, you're right about that. You don't want to give up a three-point play.
Again, you had mentioned it just the last time South threw it in. They're going to have to be able to get it in and make free throws.
The problem is with the three-point line, Marty, almost might as well take the gamble, turn him, and get the foul, because odds are in a desperation situation it's going to be a three anyway. And right now a three-point play would beat him.
Right. We'll have to see what happens. Main thing is South needs to get now. This time, when South throws it in, they're going to be able to run the baseline. So there's a little more options.
The chess game continues now. I believe South gets to move on this, don't they?
Right, that's what I meant. They get to move on the baseline. Also, we haven't seen James Poles, number 55, in a long time. He's coming in to guard the free throw shooter. Pardon me, the inbounder.
Phelan will throw the ball in. Sorensen, Koistra, Prislin, and Murphy are the other players. And he got it in, and Koistra is fouled with 1.3 seconds to go. He made a good catch on that, although I think the pass might have been intended for Murphy.
Hard to tell. They were both in the area, that's for certain. Let's see if Aubrey can keep his dead eye at the free throw line one more time.
Well, he hits them both and it's over.
Right.
Koistra with 6 points. He scored the first bucket of the fourth quarter, and he's hit 4 straight free throws, make it 5 here in overtime.
Money in the bank.
This one seals it.
And you know what you do? You take your guys, you put them on the sideline and let them shoot a last shot layup.
And he got it. 8 points, Koistra. Stay away from him. Zepnik for the three-pointer at the buzzer, hit the rim, and that's it. A big win for Sheboygan South in overtime as they beat Green Bay Southwest 63-59. We'll be back with some interviews and a final scoring wrap-up after this. Welcome back to South High School, where clutch free throw shooting down the stretch allows Sheboygan South to prevail tonight over Green Bay Southwest 63-59 in one overtime. And standing by with some of the heroes of tonight's ball game is Mike Martin. Marty?
Joining me is Andy Prislin and Aubrey Koistra. And Aubrey, I mentioned to you on the way over that I'd mentioned my partner Stu that coming into the game, we had done previous games of you, and you had some troubles with your free throws, but not tonight.
Yeah, at the beginning I was shooting them good, and then I got in a little slump, but we practiced them a lot in practice, so I got the form down, and it went good tonight, so it's good.
I thought even in the games where they weren't going in for you, got really great form, good backspin and everything. Tonight, St. John kind of had your number offensively. He's a pretty tough defender.
Yeah, he did. I give him credit. He did a really good job. They have really good defensive, just a team effort and defense, and they did a good job on locking up on the scores, and they did a good job of shutting some of us down tonight. So.
Andy, coach split up the A team tonight. All of you didn't start. You happened to be the one. What was the story behind that?
Well, he just took me aside. He told me that he wanted me to get my energy back by doing this, and he said I was going to get mad, and I came out pretty upset, but I helped out with defense, and then I came down from there.
I thought you helped out on offense too. You nailed a 3 early on after being not starting and then getting back in the ball game. So obviously his strategy worked.
Yeah, he said, well, if you're open, you know, get a good shot and take the shot. And I just tried to do that. I got myself open and put it down.
Well, I haven't seen South. You guys play a lot, but I thought Scott Murphy had a real good ball game tonight.
Yeah, we've been working on that in practice all week because we need another third scorer to step up and score. And I think him and Nick Phelan both did a good job, along with Aaron. Aaron had another good game tonight. So Nick and Scott really stepped up tonight and made some big plays. That was good for us.
Coach made a lot of substitutions tonight during the course of the game, especially late in the second half. What were those all about?
Well, he told me that they were just going to be out flying defense, and we needed energy just to get in there and keep the wheels running. And everyone that played had a big role tonight, and that's why we won.
I thought pretty easy to see why he was pulling you out. You picked up your 4th foul early in the second half.
Yeah, I got my 4th foul, so he told me just give me on offense. Even though I hadn't been shooting good, I can still hit him if I get him open. So he kind of went offense and defense, and it worked out good for us.
Well, you guys got a game coming up on Tuesday against Green Bay West. You need to pick up another win. Right now you're 5-5 in conference, correct? Get above the 500 mark with a win, and that game's going to be right here at South.
Well, he said today was a must win, and so is Tuesday. We want to get above that 500 mark, and West is a team that we think we can beat.
Same here. I think this is a big step for us because it's in the middle of the conference, and it kind of puts us to make a run towards the top of the conference for the end of the season, so it's good.
End of the season seeding, too, for the playoffs. We're going to send it back to Stu. He's going to give some of the final scores and that. And, you guys, thanks for a great interview, and good luck on Tuesday and with the rest of the season.
All right, Marty, thanks a lot. You don't think free throw shooting is important in a close ball game? South scores 10 points in the overtime. 8 of those 10 points came at the free throw line. For Green Bay Southwest, who drops to 4-6 in conference play, they were led by Billy St. John. He had 19 points tonight. Nathan Zepnick added 18. Jason Fraser with 8. Jesse Jones 6. And Marcus Gavert and Jim Poles each had 4. For Sheboygan South, the sophomore Scott Murphy led the way. He scored 18 tonight. Aaron Sorensen, the only other Red Wing in double figures, he had 14. Aubrey Koistra had 8 points, including those 6 clutch free throws in overtime. Brian Schultz was 7. Nick Phelan was 6. He scored all of his in the second half. Jacob Wilson had a bucket. Andy Prislin 7, and John Lampy added a free throw for the Red Wings 63. They go to 5-5 in league play. And next week, as we mentioned, it's a big game as Fox River Valley Conference lead could be at stake with Manitowoc traveling to Sheboygan North. Again, a great job by our crew as always, and Kerry, good job on the instant replay tonight. For my partner Mike Martin, I'm Stu Hoffensberger. Thanks everyone for joining us, and so long.